And there came a day unlike any other, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Star Wars Comics Daily from Scorcher Hill, hosted by Brian Keown and Matt Wood. From Scorcher Hill, this is Star Wars Comics Daily. I'm Matt Wood.
And I'm Brian Keown.
Welcome to episode 130 of Star Wars Comics Daily, Star Wars number 32. Star Wars number 32 was released November 27th, 1979.
Writer-editor was Archie Goodwin. The artists are Carmine Infantino and Bob Wycheck. Letterer is John Costanza. Colorist is Petra Goldberg. And the cover was by Carmine Infantino and Bob Wycheck.
Yeah. I have to assume that this is the day before Thanksgiving when this comic comes out. Well, no, I take that back, because comics weren't exclusively released on a Wednesday at this point.
Yeah, I don't know what time they would, because this is before the direct market, so I don't know when they would have been released.
Well, I'm looking it up, Brian, just because I have to know.
Sure.
So, Jawas. That's exciting.
Yeah, all aboard the Jawa Express.
Oh, yeah.
That's what this comic's called, the title.
Absolutely. We haven't gotten to the summary yet, but part of me is thinking that episode of The Mandalorian ripped off.
It is similar in some ways. I certainly was thinking about it as I was reading.
I think this must be the first time we see the cockpit of Jawa Sandcrawler.
Definitely, I did definitely notice that it looked pretty much the same as the Mandalorian one, which is nice.
All right, so I typed in November 27th, 1979.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, there's happybirthday.net and all this crap comes up, horoscope.co and all this stuff. Basically, you can find out if you were born on the same day as a celebrity. But then under videos, there is multiple videos of a Kiss concert from 1979 that was on this date. So
Sweet.
Some little badass at this time probably bought this comic book at a newsstand and then went to a pretty sweet Kiss concert.
Probably Gene Simmons was reading this comic book backstage, dude.
It's very possible. It's very possible.
He was into comics.
Remember when they did the Kiss comic and they poured their blood into the ink?
Oh, yeah.
Well, did you hear that apparently it was more likely that the ink that they poured their blood into went into issues of Boy's Life rather than
I do remember hearing that,
yeah, than their actual comic book. That one's funny.
But what day was this come out, dude? What day of the week?
Tuesday. It's Tuesday.
All right.
So I guess
just the way DC wants it, dude.
Oh, do they really?
They want them on Tuesdays, yeah. Yeah, DC Comics come out on Tuesdays now.
Wait, what? Is that a thing?
Yeah. When they busted off in their own distributor, they put them out on Tuesdays, and now when we get them on Diamond, we get our comics on Tuesdays to sell on Wednesday.
Okay,
and they're saying you can put them for sale on Tuesdays because that is the same. That's synergy with the book market and other places. Because new books, new
So
regular
are you
books
telling me
Tuesdays.
that when you get your comics on Tuesday, right now in 2020,
Uh-huh.
you can put your DC comics out on Tuesday?
Yes.
Could you always have done that?
No, that's new since they did that. Because with the new distributors, those guys, you get your comics on Tuesday. I get those comics on Monday to put out on Tuesday.
So DC Comics isn't distributed through Diamond anymore.
They do, but they're also going to distribute through the other guys.
And you're getting your comics to the other guys.
Well, right now right now DC isn't coming out from Diamond because Diamond, this week is the first time Diamond is shipping comic books in 2 months.
Sure.
So, but for the last 3 weeks, DC has been coming out through those other distributors.
Oh my God.
So you can get them from the other distributors or you can get them from Diamond. But the other distributors, you can put your comics. If I order them from the other distributor, I get them on Monday for Tuesday. If I get them from Diamond, I get them on Tuesday for Wednesday. And so now, since the DC has decided Tuesday is their new comic book day, if I want to, I can put my DC comics out for sale on Tuesday, even if I get them from Diamond.
So theoretically, going forward, you could have 2 DC comics out on Tuesday. 2 DC comics out on Tuesday. And then you could have 2 DC comics out on Wednesday. And then you could have 2 DC comics out on Tuesday. And then you could have 2 DC comics out on Wednesday. And then you could have 2 DC comics out on Tuesday. And then you could have 2 DC comics out on Wednesday. And then you could have 2 DC comics out on Tuesday. And then you could have 2 DC comics out on Wednesday. And then you could have 2 DC comics out on Tuesday. And then you could have 2 DC comics out on Wednesday. And then you could have 2 DC comics out on Tuesday. And then you could have 2 DC comics out on Wednesday. And then you could have 2 DC comics out on Tuesday. And then you could have 2 DC comics out on Wednesday. And then you could have 2 DC comics out on Wednesday. And then you could have 2 DC comics out on Wednesday. And then you could have 2 DC comics out on Wednesday. And then you could have 2 DC comics out on Wednesday. And two, New
Yes.
comic book days?
Yep.
How do you feel about that?
I'm not going to do it,
Okay.
but just because it sucks. It sucks getting because that's how it used to be.
People are conditioned.
well,
I
people
go
are
in to get the
conditioned,
comics on Wednesdays.
well, and it also sucks is I have to, especially if you're getting them just from UPS and you're waiting for UPS to show up. I mean,
Oh, you don't want
who
to go
knows when
twice.
UPS? Well, they're going to show up at 1 o'clock on Tuesday. Okay, well now I can put my comic books out.
Yeah, right. But then
You got to scramble
there's
to
no
pull
guarantee
reserves.
of like, oh yeah, like I will absolutely have this comic on the shelf at 1 o'clock on a Tuesday.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because okay, well you got them at 1 o'clock on Tuesday. Well now you got to pull your reserves. And you got to do all this stuff. Because that's how it used to be. I would
They
go
want
and
to
pick
talk
them up.
about they want to be 1-to-1 with like the book market, but that's not how that works. Most like major book distributors are going to get their books on like Monday or earlier,
Well, right.
and they just don't put them out until Tuesday. But if you absolutely can't get your comic any earlier than Monday afternoon or Tuesday afternoon, what the hell are they doing, Brian?
But that's the thing. If you use these other two distributors, you will get your comics on Monday to put out on Tuesday.
Oh my God.
That's why you can put your DC comics out on Tuesday, because the other distributors are getting them that early. But the problem is, it's not like, I've been getting comic books for the last 3 weeks, but it's like literally last week I got 11 comic books and paid $10 for shipping to get them.
Oh, that's not worth it. That hurts. That
right.
That
So
eats
I'm not
into
making.
it.
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't make any money on the last 3 weeks of comics of DC comics, but I mean, I got them just because. I mean, why not? Mostly because I personally wanted them.
Well, yeah, but also,
but I'm not making any money.
Like, you have a store that hasn't gotten comics in 2 months, so you're trying to get something on the shelf.
Sure. Yeah, and we're in Arkansas, so we're sort of open.
That's a mess right there.
Yeah, but DC is trying to. They're definitely trying to strong arm. I don't think if they hadn't gone with their own distributors, Diamond wouldn't be putting comic books out right now.
Yeah, they kind of. I feel like they can strong arm in that regard, but if they're trying to force the paradigm for all publishers to start putting their comics out on Tuesday, I don't think that's going to happen. No. Their arm's not that strong.
No. Yeah, I don't think Marvel's going to be like, yeah, screw it, we'll put our comics out on Tuesday too.
Exactly. Because Marvel's making more money on comics than DC is now, right?
Yeah, I think so, because DC comics aren't that great right now, for the most part.
Well, I mean, just talking in numbers of volume, I mean, Marvel's putting out more product than DC is. Yeah. Which is not always the case, even though people might say, well, it's always the case. Not always.
Yeah.
Weird.
But,
okay.
Yeah. None of that has to do with anything. We talked
no. No. But I find it interesting, and I think our listeners might find that pretty interesting, even though this news is going to be weeks old by the time they hear it.
Well, it's weeks old as we're talking about it. I don't know why you haven't heard about it.
Okay, I guess that's a good point.
But your Marvel comics will still come out on Wednesdays. Your Star Wars comics will come out on Wednesdays.
My DC comics are going to be coming out on Wednesday, too, because I'm not going to be buying them on Tuesdays.
Sure.
Gosh darn it. I don't even get my comics until Friday anyway, so I don't know what I'm talking about. All right, Brian. Tell me, what happens in Star Wars number 32, the Jawa Express?
Outside of Mos Eisley, Han, Luke, Chewie, and the droids try to fix their broken-down land speeder. Chewie spots an Imperial patrol, and the droids volunteer their coolant to fix the speeder. They rush back to Luke's ship, but find that Jawas have stripped the ship. Han negotiates with the Jawas and gets a ride on their sandcrawler to Mos Eisley, where the Millennium Falcon is. Luke figures out that the Jawas are going to continue their scavenger run before heading back to the spaceport, and that can take months. Suddenly, stormtroopers attack the sandcrawler, but the boys are able to take out the Imperials. The sandcrawler is forced to turn into the Jundland Wastes, where Tag has been running his experiments. They find some kind of tower, and Luke warns everybody just in time to get out of the blast radius from the matching tower across the way. Everything between the two towers is flash frozen, so much so that the sandcrawler is completely destroyed. Orman and Silas Tag survive the damage and are pretty psyched. They know that the rebels are watching and attack them in their new sandcrawler that came out of nowhere. The Jawas supply them with some drums.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that there was. We'll talk about it when we get to it. There's another sandcrawler, but it was a competing sandcrawler, and suddenly they were hanging out with those guys. But
whatever. Yeah.
The Jawas supply them with some drums of Skyhopper propellant, which Han and Chewie dump out of the crawler. Luke shoots the drums, producing a firewall that cuts the troopers off. Inside the sandcrawler, the droids have been repaired and tell Luke that the Jawas have coolant for the Landspeeder too. So they all leave the sandcrawler to head back to Mos Eisley and the Millennium Falcon.
Sweet. Making friends with Jawas is cool.
Sure.
You know what? I like this issue a lot. I was telling you before we recorded that this might be my favorite issue of the classic Star Wars run. This feels like you're just playing with your action figures.
Totally.
I mean, you have the troop transport, but the land speeder also, you know.
Yeah, and couldn't you buy a sandcrawler? I think you could. I think it was super expensive, but I think there was one.
Surely. I'm going to type in Kenner Sandcrawler.
I'm pretty sure there was. And obviously there's dewbacks.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, that goes all without saying. Yes. They're radio controlled.
Yeah, I remember it being, but it was like a crazy expensive, so I never got one.
Yeah. They must have not released it when I was getting my action figures in the 90s, because they repurposed a lot of those Kenner's toys, you know, and just slapped better paint and stickers on them.
Right.
But I had that land speeder, and I had a lot of these guys. But yeah, a lot of strange things happen in this comic. Both strange in the sense of, well, that's strange for Star Wars, but also strange decisions, I believe, on the creative team's behalf. And I'm going to start with the first one that I noticed, and it's on the third page, in which C-3PO calls Luke.
I noticed that too, but remember last issue, Luke is very specifically, he tells him, stop calling me Master Luke, just call me Luke. Because it threw me for a second too, and I was like, oh yeah, we told him to call him Luke, so I guess it's okay.
Yeah.
But it is very strange.
Yeah, it threw me off.
Yeah.
I do also like the constant use of throwaway lines from A New Hope, where, you know, okay, you got to mention like the twin sons. You also need to mention the alternative to fighting is what C-3PO says, which I'm like, that's okay. That's an Obi-Wan line from A New Hope. You know, they're you can't run, but they're all alternatives to fighting, and it's just like, I don't know. It just seems weird to. I could be. It could be a classic case of reading too much into it, but I don't know.
That one maybe. The twin sons, yeah, obviously you got to say that, but yeah, the alternative to fighting. You throw in
the Jundland Waste. You got to throw in.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're on Tatooine. Yeah, I mean. Yeah, all this Tatooine stuff is based on the movie, so. Sure.
I did though enjoy the droids sacrificing their coolant for the, because that to me was like, that's interesting.
I especially also like when they wake up later and like, oh yeah, Jawas had some coolant. They probably have some for a land speeder too, and like, woohoo! And they just, all right, issue's over. It's like, why didn't you think of that earlier, dude?
Yeah. It just, we never see the droids sacrificing parts or anything.
Sure.
I've never seen that in Star Wars, and that I thought that was kind of interesting.
3PO offers to do it at least once. I can specifically remember him like, oh, if you need any of my parts for, I guess it was
fix that R2.
Destroyed. Yeah.
Right.
But I guess that wasn't sacrificing themselves for a human. So
yeah. So I thought that was kind of, I don't know. I just thought that was an interesting choice.
Yeah. And weirdly, not super, like, you could have skipped that in the plot. That wasn't necessary, really, for the plot.
No, because they just made it to, like, the cliff, sort of.
Yeah, you could be just like, Luke, fixed it, short enough distance so they get back to his ship, and then, whoa, Jawas. There was no.
This buys you 3 pages, right?
Well, really, it's just that one panel. Because all you have to do is replace that panel with, like, I got it fixed, instead of.
But if it's too fixed, then they can just drive that thing the most nicely.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like you also need to get them through their transport. So.
And it gets the droids out of play, so you're not the whole issue being like, well, why doesn't R2 help him?
Another strange. Well, because he's R2. Yeah, you feel like that would be a thing. But also, I don't know. It also. The Jawas are going to want the droids.
Yeah, well, they want them anyway. They have to sell them to them to get the ride.
Right, but it makes that whole process a lot easier if the droids are unconscious.
Sure.
But Carmine draws a lot of definition on Chewbacca's butt in a couple of panels.
Okay.
So the first time I noticed it was on the first page. You see Chewie sitting on the on the land speeder, and there's the slightest hint of a butt crack.
Okay.
All right, and then
I see it on the second page. I see what you're talking about for
right,
sure.
right, like Chewie's
Yeah, I
wearing like
guess.
leggings or something.
I mean, I assume he's got a butt under there, so I guess sometimes the fur is gonna
That's
right up his
disgusting.
crack. It's all sweaty and hot out.
Oh,
I don't know.
old Dingleberry City.
Yeah,
Yikes. That's
yeah, I don't know.
that's horrible. But thank you, Carmine, for that.
Sure.
Yeah, I couldn't help but notice. So yeah, the Mandalorian reference that I brought up is when those Jawas are stripping apart their ship. I'm not saying the Mandalorian ripped this off. I'm just saying it's very reminiscent. It feels very similar to like, okay, we wanted to get off the planet, we can't. Why? Because Jawas. Yeah, stripped it. And I can't remember any other example of that ever happening.
I mean, it seems like an obvious kind of idea, but the thing that made me think of Mandalorian more is when they're fighting and they're throwing stuff off the sandcrawler. That reminded me more because I mean it was Jawas doing it to Mandalorian, but that's what brought me. Just having them strip the ship, that makes sense. I mean, that's kind of what they did to R2 and 3PO when they found them in the desert. So, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Of course, Jawas have to be shifty little negotiators. I guess that's established in A New Hope.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that seems to be their whole existence. They strip stuff for parts and resell them. So
Yeah.
because he kind of begs the question, why are you tearing the ship apart? Why don't you just load the ship onto your sandcrawler and sell a fully intact ship? But that's just not how they are, man. They're scavengers or whatever.
I guess not. Yeah, they always got to try to get a little bit extra. Did you enjoy seeing the inside of a Jawa's cockpit?
It's okay. Again, just referencing that Mandalorian episode, it's interesting because my memory of what that cockpit looked like is pretty much exactly the same. So
Yeah. I don't. So this threw me off. Han Solo has cuffed
oh, I see with the
openings
sleeves.
on his sleeves. Yeah, cuff sleeves.
Yeah, that was kind of weird, but I mean, I guess I don't know. Off the top of my head, I can't think of what his sleeves look like, so I don't know.
They're not cuffed.
Okay.
They're like, it's almost like a t-shirt. Honestly, he doesn't wear a collar until the ceremony.
Yeah.
So, I don't know what this insistence on.
He's trying to be fancy on. He just made up with Jabba and stuff, so he's trying to be fancy. That's what it is, dude. Oh yeah, it's like a V-cut shirt, but like long sleeve. I see what you're saying. You still there?
Yeah, I am. Sorry, I got lost in thinking about that shirt for too long.
Because I was just like, what is this shirt? I looked it up. Yeah, but yeah, it's like a V-neck, but it's got long sleeves.
Yeah, but not cuffed.
Not cuffed, but it does sort of have a collar.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, like there's a picture of him leaning back in the cantina, and there's a collar coming up off of it. It's not like a stiff collar like it is on a like a fancy shirt, but there is sort of a collar
Yeah,
on it.
little frill kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
But you can't pop that collar.
No. Yeah, because it's made out of like t-shirt material.
It breathes well.
Yeah.
But Carmine was showing him in a dress
Hey
shirt.
man, at least he's being realistic, and he's like, Han has more than one t-shirt, dude. Unlike Luke, who's just got one tunic he's been wearing for 39 or 32 issues.
I think the tunic breathes better than anything, though. So that helps.
Still, it's got to be gross, dude. They've been walking around in the desert with swampy Wookiee butt.
Yeah, that's true. Speaking of Wookiee butt, you're about to see it on the next page when they're looking at the evaporator.
It's not an evaporator, dude.
Okay, yeah, but that is a Wookiee butt.
Yeah.
But yeah. Jawa hands.
I did notice the Jawa hands because I'm like, I don't know what Jawa hands normally look like.
I don't think that, but
yeah, because they look almost reptilian.
Yeah. But we don't know what's going on underneath there.
Sure.
How far? I guess Mos Eisley is quite a stretch.
Yeah, it was a pretty decent ride, at least from Luke's homestead, and they were
Because
there at the
Luke
they were
wants
there
to
at the last
Luke
issue.
wants to go to Anchorhead, right? Uh,
Yeah, Anchorhead is closer for sure.
yeah. And that's as far as he's willing to go with old Ben Kenobi.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but I remember it felt like it was a pretty decent amount of time between when they left and got to Mos Eisley.
Yeah. I did enjoy the whole gag of the it's not a couple of days, hon, it's 3 months.
Yeah,
That's wild. These Jawas are in for the long haul.
sure.
And
I
it
mean, that
must
makes
be
sense, especially if they're just going around to local homesteads and trying to sell stuff too. They've probably got just a whole,
see how many teenage kids have left their uncle and aunt
well, they've
dead.
probably, they've got a whole, like route to go. Like old timey traders and stuff.
Yeah. Those sand crawlers are useful.
Sure. I'm sure that's why they're so big because all those Jawas got to live on there
Yeah.
for extended periods of time.
And you gotta, load up all your crap, all your ships that you're tearing apart and all that stuff.
Sure.
Um I like the effect of the panel where the I guess not evaporator, whatever it is, goes off.
Yeah, when it's all white and washed out.
Yeah.
Yep, looks cool.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I have no idea what they're doing, but I mean, I guess.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't necessarily get the logic. I guess you're just trying to freeze things. Maybe Tag's trying to freeze Vader.
Yeah, because he definitely says this is going to go. It's going to be the club with which we beat Darth Vader from the Emperor's favor.
Mm-hmm. Which that sounds cool.
I guess.
I've
Like
never,
maybe.
I've never, I never thought about freezing Darth Vader to beat him, but I guess that could work, right?
I mean, Luke tries it in Empire. He tries to carbonite freeze him.
Tries to carbonite freeze Vader?
Yeah, I remember he knocks him down into the thing, and
No, Vader does that to Luke.
yeah, but I thought he did it to Vader as well.
Nah, Vader never
I don't
did
know.
that thing.
Alright, whatever.
Luke cuts a vent and he shoots like steam in
I remember
Vader's
that
face.
for
Yeah,
sure.
I always thought
But yeah,
that
I
was
thought
funny because Vader was like, ah!
he...
But yeah, I don't think Vader. I don't see Vader. Vader falls down the steps in Jedi, and he
Yeah.
goes, "Arr!" But yeah, I don't.
Yeah, well, we've talked about Baron's Tag's plans seem like horrible plans. You're going to fight him with a lightsaber, and now you're going to this huge effect to freeze him that like completely destroys a sandcrawler. Now I think you're kind of, seems like overkill.
Yeah.
But he does say he's going to club them from the Emperor's favor, so maybe he's going to use this weapon to be like, oh, I'm better than Darth Vader. I'm your number 2 now.
Why do so many people? I guess it's just that hunger for power. But like, Shizor did that. Tag's doing that. Like what's his name from Silo or whatever? Not Silo. What's the guy's name in the Darth Vader comic? Who has all those like freaks?
Oh yeah, I think it is Silo, isn't it? Silo 5 or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
everyone's trying to get the number 2 spot. No one's trying to get the number 1 spot. But I don't understand how your assumption. I guess the assumption is, Vader's a tough guy and he fears the Emperor, so the Emperor must be tough.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, the Emperor.
Or maybe there's the assumption
always,
that I can trick that old guy if only I was in Vader's position.
As always, I don't know what these people know about the Emperor. Like, do they even know what he looks like? I mean, they certainly know he's super powerful. I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird, but I don't think I would be going for that position. But maybe I'm not ambitious enough.
When the Emperor hasn't even been in the movie, I probably barely even mentioned. I mean,
yeah,
Darth Vader is the big bad guy, not the Emperor.
Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. You know what I did like though?
What's that?
When that troop transport flips over.
And all the stormtroopers fall out because they're in those weird holder
yes.
things on the side.
Which, I could see Kenner going like, hey, you're trying to help us sell toys?
And Carmine's like, dude, I have mine, and I flipped it, and the stormtrooper just fell out. So
Yeah.
that's what I drew.
Take me 10 minutes to put them back in.
Yeah.
Do you think Carmine got free toys?
He seems like kind of the guy who probably wouldn't want the free toys, so I
Yeah.
don't know.
Comic writers now would be like, sweet, yes.
Yeah, I know a lot of the artists, when they're drawing the ships and stuff, just get the toys or models or
Yeah.
whatever and use that as reference.
Yeah, Carmine ain't doing that.
And I mean, we've talked about John Cassidy feels like he's drawn the toys more than he's drawn the characters from the movies and stuff. So
Yeah. I like to think that there's some poor Marvel intern, like not Claremont at this time. He wasn't an intern.
yeah.
Peter David. Peter David, I think, was an intern around this time, right?
He worked in the sales department, so I don't know if he was necessarily an intern, but we'll say he is just for the sake of your
Yeah.
story.
For the sake of my my not anecdote, I guess.
Yeah.
But anyway, some poor guy having to go to like the local toy store and like use Marvel's, save the receipts, to go back and get,
I would imagine the editors would get these because, like you said, I didn't think about it till you said it, but this story does feel like, I mean,
there's a lot of toys going on here.
yeah, especially because the troop transport for sure, because that never showed up anywhere
Yeah,
except as toys.
I haven't actually seen. I haven't seen that be a thing in any of these issues until very, very recently. But when the troop transport showed up, I was like, this could give me heavy GI Joe vibes.
Right, and like I said, there was a sandcrawler, there was a land speeder, there was dewbacks, there were stormtroopers. I mean, Baron Tag is probably the only person in here who's not a toy.
Never was, never has been.
Right, so
I was going to make that
might be
assumption.
right. I mean, it might have been like here. Kenner was like, "Hey, man, can you do a story with the troop transport and the sandcrawler?" And they're like, "Yeah, we can do a story on Tatooine, whatever."
Could you please not show it flipping over?
And they're like, "Well, you didn't specify that, dude."
Sorry, guys.
So it wouldn't blow my mind that
Yeah.
if that's at least partially what happened. And I would assume probably at least some editor. Archie Goodwin's the editor, so he might have the toys.
Do you see that one
yeah.
editorial blurb where he signs it Archie G?
No, I didn't notice.
I like that one.
That's how they used to always do it. They would,
No, it's not Costanza. Yeah, it's Costanza.
Yeah,
Credit,
Costanza.
special credit for John Costanza this issue. Giving the Jawas a special language.
Yeah, not saying Mutini though. What's up?
No. Well, that's the thing. What do? Do you write gibberish or do you
Right.
just
Write it out phonetically.
write it out phonetically? And I think we made the right choice.
Sure. I mean, every time I saw it, I just said Mutini anyway. So.
Exactly. Especially when they got excited.
Yeah.
Man, those troop transports blow up real good.
Well, this is one of them. The other one just turns away, dude.
When they were talking about something that's more dangerous in the Junlin Waste, I thought for half a second we were going to get to see a crate dragon.
Yeah.
Because you see that big skeleton in the movie.
Right.
Like, who doesn't want to see what that's all about?
Sure.
But yeah, no luck.
But no, it was just a freeze ray.
Do you think these Jawas stole anything before? Like I know they were like super nice and they fixed up the droids in the car. But you think they I got his wallet?
It could be because I forgot to talk about it because I mentioned it in the synopsis for a second. But so when they roll up on the freeze ray things, there's another sandcrawler, and so the Jawas that are hanging out with Luke and Han are like, "We got to get out there now because the other sandcrawler are going to steal our stuff," and so that's why they're not on the sandcrawler when it gets destroyed. Mm-hmm. And then later they're just riding around in that sandcrawler with those other guys that were their competitors.
It has to be that sandcrawler, right?
I assume it is, but it seems weird that they were just like, "Oh yeah, we'll be friendly Jawas too," because by the way, they didn't get paid for this ride.
Also, keep in mind that when that sandcrawler gets destroyed, Luke and R2 and 3PO are in there.
They are. I didn't think about that, but yes, they totally are, because they didn't bring unconscious R2 and 3PO out with them.
Oh, the speeder. What is going on in this issue?
Well, that could be a different land speeder. They all look the same. That's fine. But yeah, You're right. R2 and 3PO were definitely in that sandcrawler when it got destroyed.
And a lot more Jawas, because when we see them picking apart the
sure.
ship, there's like 40 Jawas down there. Okay, maybe 20.
And yeah, Right. So they R2 and 3PO are totally in there, and they don't even have a chance to go recover them because
No.
we watched the Tag brothers like roll up on it.
Yeah.
That's funny. I didn't even think about that. Good catch.
Yeah, it shouldn't be me catching that stuff. It should be
Right. Archie Goodwin.
Archie Goodwin. But I get it. You gotta get this issue out. Kenner's breathing down your neck.
Yeah, I honestly think that is why this is kind of the end of a writer and an editor being the same person.
Yeah, it's not long, is it? Until it was
pretty
Al
rare.
Williamson. No, Al Williamson's the artist.
Once we get into the 80s, I think that's much less a thing. Like it used to be a thing that happened all the time, but
Yeah. Oh, you're saying editor and writer. Okay, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, just because it's a little too busy. Yeah.
yeah, because Archie's still a writer in the writer/editor in the Empire Strikes Back stuff. But I think that's one of the reasons why. Because yeah, it was hard. You know how it is when you're proofreading your stuff. You read it and it's like, yeah, that seems right, and then someone else comes along
Right.
and
It always helps. It always helps with
Right.
someone who's not
yeah,
directly attached to the creative process.
yeah.
It gives it a good once over. Yeah, but I did still think this comic was a lot of fun just because it was so crazy. Anytime I can see things that do feel Star Warsy, but I haven't seen in Star Wars, because that's such a thing that doesn't happen that much anymore.
Right.
I get kind of excited, but yeah.
Yeah, no, it's good.
4 stars, Matt Wood says. Check it out.
I mean, I wouldn't have minded if Leia was running around with him too, but
Yeah, but she's out throwing metaphors around on
right.
that planet, so
Yeah,
with burly rebels that we never see again.
yeah.
Yeah. But that's going to wrap it up for this episode. Tomorrow we are going to be looking at Rogue Squadron number 2. So make sure you check that out. From Star Wars Comics Daily, I'm Matt Wood.
I'm Brian Keown.
And until tomorrow, may the Force be with you.